Hi there, welcome to lecture 1 of Tickle programming language. The goal of this lecture series is to make you familiarize with the Tickle language and its basic commands, its syntax rules, its fundamentals like control flow, strings, list and arrays, regular expression, and many more such concepts that we will come across going forward. So that once you complete this lecture series, you would probably be able to build your own Tickle scripts for various applications. Prerequisite for this course are: first, you need to have some experience with at least one programming language, be it C, C++, Java, or Python. And second, you need to be familiar with at least one text editor like VI, GVim, gedit, etc. Tickle is a string-based command language. Since it has few fundamental constructs and relatively simple syntax rules, this makes Tickle an easy language to learn. The initial idea of its development began at the University of California back in 1980s, and since then its popularity has grown over the years and now it is used in many different applications ranging from web and desktop applications, networking, administration, testing, EDA tool development, and various interfaces. Tickle is an open source language, that is, it is freely available. You can download, modify, use, and redistribute it as per your own needs. Tickle has a very large and helpful community base consisting of users and developers across the globe. There are many reasons why people still use Tickle as their primary choice for scripting language. It authorizes rapid development of application, which means you can implement applications 5 to 10 times faster with Tickle than with any other programming language. Tickle scripts can be easily embedded into other applications which are written in C or C++. Hence, leveraging the most interesting functionality of this language, that is to integrate various extension and application together. Further, with TK Toolkit, Tickle provide additional scope for building GUI-based applications. Tickle can run on almost all kind of operating system, including Windows, Mac, and Unix platform. And you don't have to worry about the difference in the type of machine that you are running on. Tickle has a simple syntax and basic language rules, which makes it an ideal tool for building robust and portable Tickle applications. These are some of the main features of Tickle presented in the form of a flow diagram. Tickle language is portable, extendable, and allows flexible integration. You can easily include Tickle as an embedded scripting language in other applications which are sometimes written in C, C++, or Java. It is an ideal tool for solving integration problems across incompatible interfaces or applications running on different operating systems. TCL-sh is a command line interface for Tickle shell. Once you type TCL-sh in the Unix command prompt, it will take you to Tickle command prompt as shown below. From here, you can execute your Tickle commands. For example, putsh is one such Tickle command which is understandable by the Tickle interpreter and gets executed, which returns a standard output as shown here in the below example. Use exit command to leave the Tickle interpreter. Info commands will list all the commands that your interpreter knows, and this command comes handy when we want to navigate through list of all the Tickle commands in the current namespace. A Tickle script file generally contains various lines of Tickle commands. Tickle interpreter first breaks the Tickle script into individual Tickle commands. It identifies these Tickle commands using the semicolon or new line. New line or semicolon terminates the Tickle command, unless quoted or escaped. Tickle interpreter then breaks the Tickle command into words. It identifies these by looking at the space or tabs between words. A set of words enclosed in double quotes or curly braces is treated as a single unit, while words separated by white spaces are treated as multiple argument to the command. Double quotes and braces can both be used to group several words into a single unit, as can be seen in the below example where bunch of strings like welcome to VLSI digest are grouped as one unit. There are few additional pointers for beginners and I think it can come handy sometimes. Use exclamation mark 2 times to repeat the last command, as it will reduce the overhead of typing the same command again. We can also use abbreviated version for Tickle command as long as Tickle interpreter identifies those command, and if it does not, then it will throw an error message saying ambiguous command name. Everything in Tickle is represented as a string. As we saw, a command is composed of group of words and each of these words has a string value. We use double quotes or curly braces for grouping words together so that Tickle Interpreter treats that string as a single unit. Braces and quotes also preserve spaces, tabs, and new line between words. Comments in Tickle are defined with a hash character as can be seen from the first example. When we want to use an inline comment with a Tickle command, we need to first terminate the command with a semicolon and then we can proceed with the comment that we want to write. If the semicolon is missing, interpreter will throw an error message as can be seen in the below example. Next, you can also make use of the escape character in case you want to write a comment across multiple lines. Now let's talk about variables. We use the set command to create a variable, and once a variable is defined, we can again retrieve its value using the same set command as shown in the example on the right side. We don't need to declare the type for the variable as Tickle is typeless and its variable stores string values. To check if a variable exists, use the info exist command followed by the variable name to get a boolean output, where 1 as output represents the variable exists and 0 if the variable does not exist. Info_vars is another Tickle command used for retrieving all the existing variables. Now consider a situation you have a variable defined and now you want to use the value of this variable in some other section of your code. So for that, use the $sign before the variable name where you want the substitution to happen. Like here in this case, myVar is defined as good morning, and when you run the command put as $myvar, then myvar value is replaced with its defined value and good morning is printed as the output string. Finally, you have the unset command to delete variables which are already defined. Variable names are case sensitive and it may compose of combination of any characters as shown in the below example. As can be seen, small case a and capital A are treated as different variables. You can also use special characters like hash, @, etc. to define a variable name. Here we have defined a as 100, which means we are representing string as an integer, but we can also represent string as other forms of numeric values like binary, decimal, hexadecimal, real numbers, and boolean. Finally, just to summarize and refresh some of the basic commands that we used previously is shown here. Pause this video and take some time to digest these commands as we are going to use these in our upcoming lectures. Thank you and see you next time.